outside of on the track, it's competitive. Yeah. It'll be interesting. You know, I don't know. I feel like Jett, if they keep him occupied on the track and, you know, sometimes, I don't know, maybe with what's going on right now is a blessing for him and he just doesn't know it yet.
Yeah.
So now he's like, has to tackle this.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, what do I do with the bike that maybe could be better? How do I overcome that? So it's kind of like a little challenge for him.
Yeah.
So, but I think like, dude, I think he'll stick around for a while. I do.
Yeah.
I think he, you know, I mean, I feel like he's kind of comfortable, you know, outside of the outside noise. Like I feel like he's engaged and there's a lot that he wants to do.
Yeah.
For the records and the accomplishments that he wants to try to tackle, it's going to take some time, you know, several years. And then next thing you know, we got the rival, which is already a rival, and the guys don't even race each other, and that's Deegan. You and I talked about it. That's going to be insane.
Yeah, and it's interesting what you said about James and when you retired. Yeah. Jett ain't getting that.
No.
Like, there's going to be a guy that's right there for his whole career. You know, it's like almost his Stu in a way, like, and maybe not in terms of like what Stu was like on the bike.
Yeah.
But like he's going to have that guy to deal with his entire career. And it might be the first time in his, like, so we've only ever had like a changing of the guard, a changing of the guard,
right.
a changing of the guard, like we've never had he wins one, you win one, he wins one, you win one, he wins inside, you win outside. We've never really had that back and forward.
A little bit with Eli and Coop.
I guess, yeah.
Because weren't they swapping?
But not for like 10 years.
No.
Imagine that. What does
I'm excited for it. Well, I don't know, man. They're both like, that's like, it's an inferno almost. And do they both just nip at each other's heels for 10 years?
I hope so.
I do too. But I'm like, dude, think of how volatile that rivalry is now. I mean, is the sustainability? Dude, I don't know, man.
So I can't remember if I was saying this off the other day at the press conference, but I personally think.
I think I was with you when you had this conversation.
Yeah, so I think there needs to be some teams talking to teams, and there needs to be, like, Jett and Haiden don't ever talk to each other. You guys don't need to. But I really think the people around those boys need to get on good terms. They need to come to terms with the fact, because I personally think Hayden's that good as a rider. I wasn't convinced at the start when he first turned pro. I've thought, I was like, he's going to be like really good. And he's definitely, but I looked at Jett as like, no one's going to be as good as that guy. But I think Haiden is going to be really good on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
To the point where, so there would be a point where Hayden's really good on the motorcycle, but no matter what, he can't. There's nothing that he can do extra that can beat Jett. And I was like, maybe he's in that level. But I think maybe I'm not willing to say that Haiden is going to be as good as Jett on the motorcycle. But I think that it's going to be so close that the things that Haiden can do extra, whether that's the mental side of things, whether it's the off the track, the games that he plays, whether that those things will be able to, those things plus bike equal, he can beat Jett. But yeah, I really think that it could get too much if they all don't get on the program.
Right.
And
we talked about it, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but it's just like that everyone's entourages. You know, it's like that's what's going to mess it up, straight up. That's what's going to ruin it for everybody. The fans, most of all, and the boys. And their experience.
Yes.
It's going to ruin it for them. I hope that's not the case, but it's everything that you said about Hayden's tangibles and Jett's, you're right on point. I believe the same too. And I think what's fun for me from a competitive standpoint, without like throw out all the drama and the entourages and the smack talk, just racing styles. And what I can't wait to watch is how both are completely different styles and how they both are effective, and what actually ends up making the difference in the end. That's what I can't wait to watch. Outside just the hardcore racing, you got a guy that's super tactical, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, super skilled, but then you have a dude who is young, still a lot of skill, and is willing to hang it out and get uncomfortable. I think Jett is willing to get uncomfortable as well. It's just doesn't do it very often.
I think he doesn't have to do it as often.
Right.
You know?
So it's just, I just love watching how the two different riding styles is going to pan out.
Yeah.
Outside of the other stuff, that it's just going to naturally be there.
And I think this is one of the ways I've been thinking about it, right? So you Deegan and Pastrana. When did you ever hear Pastrana reference Deegan?
Never. Yeah.
That's the playbook.
Right.
That's it. But we've already got this back and this. So it's like if we've got Haiden Deegan and we've got Travis Pastrana and Jett Lawrence. It's the same shit.
Yeah.
But we've
totally
got a different way that Travis is dealing with Brian in this, in the analogy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I really think the playbook has already been set. It's already been written. Chirp, 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 walk the high road. Chirp, 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 walk the high road. And it's like that. If you just do it the way that it's already been done, we're good. But I think if they get into a war, that I think it's gonna. I think that would be a struggle.
Yeah.
And I think it would take years off careers, and but it just would spill over. I don't know. Maybe that's a crazy world too, where it's like maybe that pushes us into like a totally different stratosphere.
I do feel like at some stage, and I think that they both need to. I think that they both need to respect their craft. I do. From a competitor standpoint, you got to respect the guy. If I'm Jett, I got to respect Hunter from a riding standpoint and his ability and how effective he is. And the same for Haiden. You have to have respect. Don't have to like him, but respect him. And I think for the longevity of that, I think that mindset would be helpful. That's what I would try to do. Like, even though, like, Chad and I there was no love lost between us two, but, like, I always respected him. Always respected him as a competitor. He's so gnarly. I think that if they can do that, that would be helpful.
You just finished watching a clip from the full 3-hour podcast. You're on our Clips channel. The full podcast live on the Gypsy Tales podcast channel. It's linked right here. Go over to that channel, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and make sure you never miss a full episode of the Gypsy Tales podcast. If you don't want to watch it on YouTube, you want to watch it on the go, you can also head to our iTunes or Spotify to get the full 3-hour podcast in audio format.
I met a gypsy.